But of course, just we get to the final question, the final topic this lovely Christmas time. I always talk about Anthony Cumia, the Ant Man. Pretty much anytime I'm speaking to somebody from the podcast world or the comedy world, because everybody loves the Ant Man, Anthony Cumia. And the thing about Anthony, the Ant Man, is that he's a very controversial figure because a lot of the shit he said back in the O&A days, A stands for Anthony, which is the nickname of, the Ant Man.
Yeah.
The thing is that
are we talking about Paul Rudd again?
Oh, that's actually not bad. It all comes together here. Slapping the Chadzo mark, man. But the thing about whenever I put up a YouTube clip of Anthony, and in it, it's usually me mentioning that he's a huge fan of mine, that I'm a huge fan of his, and that he's like a lot of people's heroes and inspirations for doing this sort of shit. And then I get all the comments of like, how could you be a fan of that fucking guy with the shit that he's done with kids and all this shit? But then my whole point is, if he was actually guilty of that shit, nobody would fucking be going, hey, let's hang around with Anthony. He's a child molester, but good God, his dice is impressive. So the question I would have for you, Vinny, is what do you think of the accusations, which I'm sure you've heard, that go towards Anthony Cumia and the controversy that comes from them?
Well, man, not for nothing. We had podcast Hitman on the Creep Off and shit. I mean, I don't give a fuck what anybody does. I care if you're funny, but I mean, I don't know that Anthony did this stuff. It feels like a lot of it is just accusations. And frankly, I don't even know the details on a lot of it. I've never paid much attention.
Before we go on, can you explain to people who podcast Hitman is? Like, this story is fucking insane.
So there was a guy who was a contributor to WATP and on a limited basis to the Creep Off. He sent me some stuff. And he used to, basically, there's a guy named Patrick Michael that Carl always used to review. And this guy was like super obsessed with Patrick Michael. He would always send Carl the best clips of this guy. And then one day he sends Carl this email like, hey, Carl, thank you so much for letting me be part of the show, but I'm in a new relationship and it's going very well. And I can't spend any more time working on this show because, new relationship. And Carl says to him, the clip is famous now. Carl goes, yeah, well, I hope it falls apart. I hope you'll be back helping me with the show soon. Good luck to you. And what Carl didn't realize was during this time, around the holidays last year, I want to say November, just about a year and change ago, he strangled this woman to death.
Oh, shit.
In their apartment. He murdered her.
Oh, my God. I didn't see it going there.
What a bitch she must have been.
Those dishes are never getting done now, podcast Hitman. So he took her down to the basement and he left her down there for a while. And at some point, he cut strips of meat off of her back. Nobody knows why to this day. I'm still trying to find out. And she was down there till July. Just down there from November to July.
Oh, my God.
And one day, he started running around his neighborhood in his underwear. And the police were called. And the police were came and they did a mental health arrest. And they took him to the nut hut. They called his sister and said, hey, could you come and get him some clothes or something? He needs to be over here. The sister goes to the house and walks in and is like, what the fuck is this smell? And she goes down to the basement and surprise.
Oof.
Yeah. So we got the body cam footage. We played it on a bonus episode of the Creep Off from the cops.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Check out the Creep Off. We have a lot of fun on that show. On the bonus episode, we have the sister talking to the cops about the body being down there. The cops didn't go down to the basement, so we didn't see the body. They waited for the detectives to get there because they didn't want to touch the crime scene.
Yeah.
But yeah. So fast forward, maybe a week and a half ago, he sent a letter to me here at the club. And we read it on 2 weeks ago on the Creep Off. He wrote us a whole letter about what his day is like in prison, begging us to send him magazines to put money on his commissary. And then he basically tells Carl, please send me pictures of your wife in lingerie. I want to I believe the quote was, "I want to push her ankles behind her head and fuck the shit out of you."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty psychotic letter. So, yeah.
But let's be fair, though. Carl's wife is a attractive woman. We would all like to take turns fucking the shit out of her, right, guys? Come on, it's Christmas.
Pass her around. Let's go.
Yeah, let's all fuck her at the same time in front of Carl while he's tied up, badly beaten. I'm a fan. No.
With all that being said, I mean, are we still sad that he's not sending in the content? Because if he sent in good stuff,
no, he sent content. He sent the letter. That was pretty good.
Well, there you go. Okay, that supersedes it then.
Chad, my favorite part of the letter, the very thing at the top, it says, "Do not read this on the air." And we're like, that's not fucking legally binding, asshole.
What's he gonna do about it?
I'm pretty sure there's a law that says don't choke a woman either. So
Yeah. So basically, to sum up, hate on people like Podcast Hitman who are found guilty of this shit. Don't hate on people like Anthony Cumia.
Well, bring it all the way back to Anthony after all that. Jesus Christ. Let me just interject about Anthony. I mean, I could just see, as being a fan for so many years, the guy's put everything out there. He's never run from anything that's been said about him. He addresses any kind of rumor or any kind of innuendo there is about his personal life. So what can you say to bring him down when a guy owns whatever bad shit he's done and will dispel the stuff that's not true? Well, what else can you do to the guy?
And that's kind of the boat that I'm in with it. I'm like, okay, I mean, he is what he is. Everybody knows who he is.
Not my life.
I got to meet him for the very first time. Lovely gentleman. Was a lot of fun. Was a blast to hang out with.
And I gotta say, one of this might seem a little harsh because I'm a big fan of Anthony the Ant-Man, but the thing is, it's that he's not who he used to be. In that, it used to be if you went on O&A, that could really help you. Going on the Anthony Cumia show, it's behind a paywall. It's not going to raise your profile, so people aren't around him for like celebrity stature anymore. They're around him because they want to be. If he was guilty of the shit he's been accused of, there's no fucking way people would want anything to do with him. And I'm saying that as a fan. So I think that Anthony Cumia is a lovely boy with a great smile, and I'd love to give him a cock. Anyway,